I'm talking with Dr. Elson Haas. He is a pioneer in the field of integrative medicine and the founder and director of Preventive Medical Center of Marin in Santa Rafael. And we're talking about being clean on the inside. So we were before the break. We were talking about the master cleanse and making sure that our body and our colon is in good operating condition. Otherwise, we can feel sick. And I know it's happened to me. I've gotten a sore throat using the Master Cleanse because I wasn't diligent about that. So can you give us the recipe for the internal bath?
It's internal saltwater flush, actually, it's originally referred to, the internal saltwater bath. It's 2 teaspoons of sea salt and a quart of warm water. And basically, I heat up some water, and then I pour it in a quart jar on top of the salt, and then add a little cooler water just to kind of make it room temperature, or a little warmer if you like. And I drink that usually every couple, 3 days, depending on what else other things I'm doing. If I'm doing some laxative teas, I'll do it less often, but I'll drink the whole quart before I have any food once I get up in the morning.
Really? So you drink the whole quart all at once?
Yeah, well, you do. Yeah, glass by glass. It's, for some people, it's not easy.
Right.
And it helps to basically. The idea is that concentration of salt and water is similar to your body's fluids, similar to seawater, and it doesn't get absorbed theoretically. So it washes through your intestinal tract.
Oh, that's
now, if your
interesting.
body's a little bit low in salt or water, you might absorb some of it. If you tend to have high blood pressure or retain water easily, it's probably not the best way to do it. Other ways of keeping your bowels clean are doing your own enemas, doing laxative teas like Smooth Move or Super Dieter's tea, things like that. Or doing, colonics. There's many people in the Bay Area that do colon hydrotherapy, it's called, and it's all done very safely with proper equipment and cleanliness and all that. And so that's another thing that you can do during the course of a cleanse, and that's maybe the most thorough.
Now, are there certain people that shouldn't definitely not be cleansing and fasting?
Oh, definitely. I have been on my website and in my book, The New Detox Diet, and other books. It talks about that. I mean, I don't have pregnant women, nursing women do it. People who are very fatigued, people who are deficient. One way to look at it is our bodies get out of balance from either being deficient, which is lack of the nutrients we need, and our bodies get cold. We can be low thyroid, we can be anemic, we can be very fatigued, or we get toxic. Now, many overweight people are both because they're not getting a good diet. But, when you have congestion, toxicity, and inflammation, or high blood pressure, high cholesterol, allergies, asthma, skin rashes, headaches, usually those are from toxicity, and people like that will benefit from levels of detoxification and juice cleansing. People who are depleted and cold and weaker or have some chronic diseases, even cancer, you have to be more cautious. You don't really want to cleanse somebody who's depleted because you make that worse.
Right.
So it's really important. I mean, detoxing cleansing works wonderfully, like anything, when it's applied to the right situations and the right people.
And I guess if you have questions, they could go to your clinic or find some, because I'm assuming that most conventional doctors are not going to be a big proponent of cleansing and
you'd
fasting.
have to see either a naturopath or acupuncturist or somebody, or some chiropractors know about it. But there's enough integrated doctors around the Bay Area and really across the country now that know about detox and cleansing. And it is a bit of a free for all though too. If you go into the health food store, you see all kinds of products. There's all kinds of information on the web about different kinds of cleanses and herbal cleanses and parasite cleanses and all that. But it's at, what level you want to do it. And, some of the better quality things may cost a little bit more. And also to have support and guidance. One of the most rewarding things I've done in my nearly 40-year career now of being a health practitioner and teacher is the groups that I do. And I do one in January, getting people kind of into the new year with, cleaning up their winter debauchery, let's say. And that's usually very popular. And that's usually a 3-week detox where And because not everybody wants to cleanse. I mean, not everybody wants to do a juice cleanse, which is a little bit more extreme way of doing it. You can detoxify your body and get rid of the junk and bring in nourishing food, eating 3 meals a day. But you focus more on alkaline, vegetables, steamed vegetables, and that's a popular program that I do as well.
Right. So it doesn't have to be as dramatic or radical as just drinking juices and water and teas.
Right, exactly. I mean, you can detoxify your body over time doing lots of different things, just with dietary changes, eliminating, food reactions, getting rid of the snacks, the sugar, caffeine, alcohol, et cetera, for a period of time.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can't use those things again, but most people tend to overuse them, abuse them, and then become addicted because when they start to stop, they start to feel badly.
Right. Now, do you like skin brushing and?
Many other aspects. I mean, just to give a formula for Master Cleanser is a little. I have to be a little cautious about that because there's so many aspects to healthy detox and cleansing. Yeah, skin brushing, lymphatic massage, steam saunas, exercise and sweating. My encouragement is I'd like to have people do detox and cleansing while not having to go away to some retreat, but to do it within their own life, and even within the family.
That brings up a question. Can you do it if you're working full time?
Yeah, I have many people do, yeah. I mean, you can, but, you don't always necessarily want to be at work. You might rather be outside hugging a tree,
right.
When
I do these cleanses, I feel like all of a sudden I get this burst of mental energy because it seems like all that energy that was used to digest food is now going into my brain.
That's one aspect, but you just start. Yeah, you're not spending as much energy digesting. And the interesting thing when you do Master Cleanse, it takes you about 5 to 10 minutes to prepare your food, clean your dishes, and have what you need. For the whole day. And it really keeps a couple extra hours. So people find I have more time to do this. And, I stay out of the kitchen more. I'm cleaning up my closet. I'm getting rid of clothes I don't need anymore. I really do spring cleaning. So it's not just about it. And I think, many times this cleanse, Master Cleanse particularly, and I like it because it's much more energizing. Mm-hmm. The maple feeds your cells the energy that it needs. The lemon helps cleanse out fats and toxins, and the cayenne is a natural stimulant, one of the truest natural stimulants we have, and it keeps the body a little warmer also, and it really flushes out fluid. I mean, the first couple of days of Master Cleanse, you pee a lot.
Right. Now, you mentioned earlier that there are different types of syrups aside from maple syrup. Can you use molasses or?
You can use blackstrap molasses. Mm-hmm. There's also another syrup called Neera, Neera, which is a tree from India, which is a little thicker syrup than maple. But blackstrap is used, especially when people are sensitive to sugars. Blackstrap is maybe a choice, but it does change the flavor, and you don't need as much of it. Mm-hmm. But typically, if you're using the right amount of maple for you, it's just going in and it's feeding your cells sugar to function. And that's why people have energy through the day. The maple just kind of feeds the cells the glucose that it needs to kind of keep going.
So you do it to taste? Because you said 1 to 2 tablespoons. You would do it to taste?
Yeah, you will. You do it to taste. But again, as long as it's sweet enough for you, I have people use a little less maple than the original formula. Unless I had a couple of people in my group right now that are trim. They don't need to lose a lot of weight. I say use more maple, and
I see.
So you're not losing weight so much. And I am more cautious when people don't have an extra 5 pounds to drop because it's important. And I'm also in recent years, different from the Master Cleanser book, I have people do green powders like chlorella and algae and things like that because I want the amino acids in there coming in a little bit, even though it's not very caloric, because there is a risk when you start to go into cleansing state that you're going to use some of your proteins to gain energy. Mm-hmm. Because your body can turn protein tissues into sugars. So you really want to have a little bit of amino acids in there so you're not burning up your muscles. You're using up your fat, and you're using mainly the drinks you have to use the energy so you're not really having to burn anything. If you use the right amount of Master Cleanse, and a lot of people tend to say, well, if I use less, it'll be better for me. But you really want to. My best cleanse is when I really follow the directions and do, really 10 to 12 glasses a day and really keep it going.
You have such great tips. And also on your website, elsonhaas.com, it's HAAS, You have a ton of great tips for staying healthy, losing weight, and even tips on personal survival and ways to prepare for disaster.
I built. It's an educational website primarily. Yes. I also am really excited about new educational entertainment products for children and families, because I really want to reach children about healthy eating and how to take care of your body. I mean, we don't, unless you're a parent who's conscientious about natural health. I mean, what we're exposed to in the media and in schools is not how to take care of this human body to make it last and feed it well and all that.
That's right.
To keep it healthy for life. I mean, when we're young, we can get away with a lot more, but when we follow certain habits, even as children and in our teens and 20s, we may not notice the effects, but when we're 30, 40, 50 is when we're starting to see that, and that's why our system is failing and why healthcare is costing so much, because we're managing all these chronic diseases that really come from childhood behaviors.
Right.
And so to me, my focus through our company, Season Studios, and the new product, my favorite one is Anatomics Comics, which is songs and information about how to keep the body healthy.
Well, Elson, we're out of time, but this kind of raced through here. But thank you so much. And if people want to look at your website, they can either go to Season Studios or elsonhaas.com. Thanks again for being on the show.
Great to be here. Stay healthy, everybody.
Well, thank you so much for listening today. For podcasts and more information on this show, visit yoursupernaturallife.com. You can also download it on iTunes. And my book, Supernatural Home, endorsed by Deepak and Ralph Nader, John Gray, Joe Mercola, and others. You can find that on Amazon or on my website. And if you type in supernaturalmom.com/free gift, you can download a free 20-question quiz from my book to determine how toxic your environment is. Have a great week. I'm Beth Greer, and have a supernatural life.